Hi, this is Cynthia Hoven. I'd love to welcome you to Eurythmy Online, your online resource for Eurythmy. This is our series on Eurythmy for restful sleep. And visit the website to pitch in, donate, and see more resources.
Good evening. Good evening. Welcome to our Tuesday evening class, celebrating and working towards restful sleep. Let's remember that this process of attaining restful sleep really involves making a gentle switch in our whole constitution and deliberately changing how we end our days. And I think that's quite clear to all of us. How can we calm down at the right time for each one of us, turning off the computers, stopping our fretting, and just becoming really gentle with ourselves? Some people need that for the last 15 minutes. Some people need that for the last hour. Some people need it for the last 2 hours. How can we make ourselves gentle? And let's remember that when we sleep, the essential thing that's happening is that the etheric and the astral bodies, your physical body lies almost like a living plant in your bed, rejuvenating itself, growing again, recovering from having had your busy mind and your busy self inside it all day. The body relaxes. And so, in preparation for sleep, you want to relax that body and start letting yourself disengage. And disengagement means that your higher selves, it's your consciousness, your ego, and your astral body, we call them, they leave. So they're no longer perceiving through the eyes of their senses into the body, they're perceiving into the stars. And let's imagine, and it's really true, but let's think of how your angel is waiting for you, and picture that angel however you like, with wings, without wings, with white gowns, with rainbow gowns. Doesn't matter. Just picture a helping and welcoming invitation for you. And imagine the spiritual world is saying, come, come, I'm waiting for you, and gently waiting and also supporting you if you don't manage to get out of bed quite as quickly as you'd like to. Remember, these exercises that we're working on are working on getting you out of your head, getting you out of the overstimulation of the senses into gentle, deep breathing, almost like a plant. So let's begin, and I will read to you the verse that Rudolf Steiner has given us. Like last week, I'll use the word angel in the verse instead of genius. The holiness of sleep. I go to sleep. Till I awaken, my soul will be in the spiritual world, and there will meet the higher being who guides me through this earthly life. This higher being who is ever in the spiritual world, who hovers about my head, my soul will meet this being, even the guiding angel of my life. And when I waken again, this meeting will have been, I shall have felt the wafting of his wings. The wings of my angel will have touched my soul. Breathe that picture into yourself. Feel the peace of it. And let's begin our movement practice. Those of you on the East Coast, I hope this will take you right into bed. Those of us on the West Coast, yeah, I'll use it to just begin your disengagement. So roll your shoulders as we've practiced. This is Free Eurythmy, just rolling and always relaxing out of your head. Mm. Stretch whatever way you need to, increasing the blood flow through your body. And now, this first exercise is called laughter with awe. And essentially, we just want to take the goodness of laughter right through the body. So we shrug as if going up to our head, and then ah, like that. And it's really good to give it a good smile. Would you just laugh at yourself? And think of all the sillinesses that your silly self does when you're not living up to your highest expectations, when you lost the keys, whatever crazy thing you did today. And two more times. And I can't believe I spent 20 hours watching movies. Of course, I'm making that up, but just laugh. And there we go. Now, our next step, as you remember, is to enliven our stepping. Now, in the first 2 weeks, I exaggerated this way of walking where I said, just take a deep step. And I said, that's not even practice so called Eurythmi walking, where you touch with the toes first. Practice the stepping with your whole foot. Please continue that unless you would like to join me in actually touching with the toes first, which is a wonderful thing to do. I'm going to do so-called proper Eurythmy walking. I'll take 4 steps forward and 4 back and make myself profile so you can see me better. I get out of my head first. Remember in Eurythmy, you want to center in your heart. Let your head get silly. And lift your foot. This is an inhalation. Carry it, but you don't have to get off balance. You can even touch the floor as you carry with your foot pointed down. Just exhale through your foot. I imagine I have an extra nose to exhale in the arch of my foot. Carry and play. All of these muscles in the trunk, relax. Lift, carry, breathe out, empty. Lift, carry, and place. And go backwards. Lift, carry, and place. Lift, carry, and place. Lift, carry, and place. Lift, carry, and breathe through. Good. And again, lift, carry. And I take only 4 steps in this room, and really because of the limitations of the room, the screen. If you have room to go further, take the time. I've often said you can walk for an hour. And if you walk for the hour, you might want to find more things to do with your arms. Let me show you. Nice. See, right here, I want my arms to be just hanging from my shoulders, hanging loose. But if I want to bring something more to it, I'll hold my hands here in what we call lightness. And lift, carry, and place. And they're almost, not quite rotating with the lift, carry, place, but they're breathing and they breathe down. Yeah. And backwards. And you feel like you're kind of like your own mother or your own teacher or your own angel, just saying, relax, my dear, relax. And encourage yourself. Yeah, that was really good. Sometimes it helps to be a little bit patronizing for your good, tired self. Now we begin with our contraction expansion. And the emphasis on this, once again, is on having a good relaxation. In preparation, we remember we come into contraction and then expansion. And normally in our other classes, we're expanding to the heights. I'm emphasizing a different aspect of expansion here. Out to the sides, we have contraction and letting go. Teach yourself to breathe. This is naturally an inhalation, but never force it, and naturally an exhalation. And an inhalation follows. And then I hope your head is getting more and more practically hypnotized. Not really, but sort of. Okay. Now we want the expanse to be longer and the contraction to be shorter. And we have short, long, short, long, short, long. Obviously, if you're sitting in a chair, you can do this easily. Short. All right. And then we've been building that with the stepping exercise. Very, very simply. As you do the short, you take a little step forward, short. And then as you do your long, you expand into the back space, night space. Now take 2 steps forward, not slowly. 1, 2, and 2 terrifically long steps backwards. Please look, do not look 3 steps onto the screen. Look as little at the screen as you can. Let your gaze go soft. 3 steps. 1, 2. Oh, that was 4 steps here. And long 2. Don't look at the computer. 5 steps. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Feel your back and relax into that back space. 3, 4, and relax. Makes me want to breathe. And again, short, long, short, short, long, long, short, 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 long, 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 short, short, long, long, long. You're getting your angel wings ready, right? 5, 1, 2, 3, 4. Arms like big wings. 5. And rest. Once again, look at the screen as little as you can. Feel your own self. Feel your back. Lift your arms above your head as if an angelic being is saying, copy me, I'll show you how to do that. Wings are folded above your head. And now you unfurl them. Think of all those wonderful white feathers on your wings. And you close your wings behind you, folding your hands back here and raise them. Great wide wings. And again. Open the back door of your heart. Look at yourself, if you can, from behind. It means you have to let your eyes go soft and your feeling wakes up. And again, and unfold your wings and fold them above you. And down again. And now let's do a little bit of walking with this. Take perhaps 3 steps forward. 1, 2, 3. And as you walk back, lower your wings. 3, 2, 1. Again. 1, 2, 3. As you go back, 3. And in one of these webinar series, we've already practiced feeling a counter movement with the wings. So let's try. Your angel being is behind you, imagine, with wings folded down here. As you go down, your angelic being opens their arms and raises them. Here, you and that angelic being are at the same height. As you go down, you feel this other being is illuminating you from above. And open your arms wide, and that other being is now lowering their wings. This completes your picture behind you, so you've got so much light back there. And once again, breathe. Thank you. This is such a beloved exercise. All right. Finally, this week, I can string together the 4 sounds that I've been preparing with you: L, A, M, and H. Ha. The L is always for light, love, life. The A always for wonder. The M is a deep, deep, soothing sound for our breathing. And the Ha, a wonderful release of tension, a breaking out of the narrowness of your stress and whatever. Last week, we introduced the M pretty deeply. If you missed last week's lesson, please go back and watch it again so that you can really deepen your practice of the M. We'll begin here with L 3 times. Remember, you start here at the horizon and go with rounded arms into the depth. Once you have really gotten into the dark and mucky places, you lift in front of you, you break through the surface of the midline of the earth, rise above your head, hands are still together until you reach the point, and then your unfolding, unfurling can be beautiful. And again, because the cycles of life transformation never stop. Yeah. And one more. You clean yourself of the day. Yeah. And with the sense of light, drinking in the light, take 3 steps backwards. 1. Remember not looking at the screen, but feeling this light all around you. Now, with the M, we come back down again into this height. We're going to take 4 steps forward. Let me coach you through it again. I start my M here with my hands facing each other. And I'm going to walk and I will line myself up. So one hand is going forwards and one hand is going back. And I'm going to step forward with the hand that belongs to that foot. So that hand and that foot time themselves to reach forwards. The other hand moves back. The hands turn, and this hand and this foot come forward. So that one goes back. And I know in the beginning it's a bit of a technical learning, but it needs to breathe. And again. And then from here, after 4 steps forward, we're going to go back with the H, the same H that we've used in awe reverence. We go back, up, feel the backspace. Of course, it looks like the ah, but it's the ha that was important. And then drop your arms, feeling stars, feeling light, feeling gratitude. Ah. And again, I take a little step away from the back wall. And again, from the midline, I go down into darkness and lift it into the light of sleep. The darkness, any mistakes that I've made, and I lift it into light for transformation. And again, down, growing, changing, light. And take 3 steps back to drink in the light. Ah. Come down into the chest area. 1 step. M. Breathe out with every M. Inhale, breathe out. Releasing tension. And with your collarbone, your shoulder blades, big H. And feeling the backspace. The doors to the skies are open. Yes. And again. And light and life and love. Father, fill me with your light and warm me through. I move through the warm currents. Breathe out with everyone. And from your shoulder blades, throw out the cares of your day. Feel your backspace. Lower your arms. Right now, you're feeling your backspace again, not looking at the screen. Yes. And you'll do that 5 times actually. With the M, I'm imagine we can always use a bit of coaching on that. As I said last week, that's one of the hardest sounds to teach, how to really sink into this etheric world. As I do the M and I move forward with this hand and this foot, I told you last week I'm feeling the forearm, the interior of the forearm. And in the leg, that corresponds to the front of the shin. So as I move, my arm, my forearm, and my shin are moving together. I turn, and now on the left, my left side, this shin and the forearm are feeling each other. Same thing going back. It's in this case, it's the forearm and the calf. Same speed. Thank you. So take some time to practice that. That's one of the primary exercises for deepening your breathing and so many other things. All right. I would like to finally this week conclude with the Hallelujah. Many of you have done it before. I've described it on the paper. We'll do it again next week, of course. The Hallelujah, the sacred word, best thing for going to sleep. And whenever we do the Hallelujah, we prefix it with the thought, I purify myself of everything that hinders me from looking upon God. And so, with that, fold your arms in preparation for the Eurythmy Hallelujah. And now we begin with the sound H, which we just ended with before. We feel, open myself to the Spirit. We stand in this wonderful, open hearted awe. Take this awe this time for this sleep, hallelujah. Take this awe not to the ground, but draw it into your heart. There. And now the seed in your heart has received the light that it needs. You begin your 7 heart L's, like a little flower that begins to grow. And bigger, the rose of the heart is getting the food that it needs. 3. Or anything that is unresolved in your heart is getting cleaned up so it can go with you into sleep. 5, 6, open your heart space. And 7. And now fold your arms in a reverential A. Thank you. Thank you. Now we have 3 large L's. And let's imagine them as great fountains of light, light all around you. Again, light. The room that you're standing in becomes soft. And now the sound ooh. Remember, you draw your forces together and you lift everything that you have back to the Spirit. You stand between heaven and earth in E and on. I offer all that I am back to the Spirit. And I find my rest. And dear friends, There's no need to do only one. Hallelujah. For many people, this would be all that you do at night before you go to sleep. If this is enough to get you across that sacred door, do it. And for some people, you'll want to do a series of 3 hallelujahs. That's fine. We've worked on that before in another module. If you do 3, if I do 3, I do the first one to cleanse myself. And the second one, I choose a different imagination. For instance, I cleanse the whole room that I'm in. You might cleanse your bedroom, or you might cleanse the course of the day that you just had. With the third one, you feel, I cleanse the entire spiritual world. Open those doors and give me peace tonight. And hopefully, let me into your world of sleep. Thank you so much. If you're ready to go to bed, just curl up. And Michelle, please, if there are any questions, give them to me.
Yes, we have just a couple.
Okay.
Heather asked, are we to be silent as we form these sounds, or are we to say the sounds?
You are to be silent with your mouth and articulate and loud with your movements. What does that mean? We silence the throat chakra. When we speak, we are using the chakra energy of the larynx to form and imprint forces onto the exhaled air. That's what we're stopping here, so that we learn, and it's that initially a new experience, but we learn to put that sculptural intention into our gestures instead of doing both the gestures and the mouth. So, short response, be quiet.
There we go. Thank you, Heather, and thank you, Cynthia. Okay, Christine asked, is the main difference between the H and the ah the vigor with which you do the H above your head?
That's such a good question. So the H could be anywhere. And in this exercise, I'm doing the H upwards. But in our first exercise, laughter, we went ha like that. But in this case, yes, I'm taking it up and I land almost coincidentally in that same place that I land when I do the ah. But Christine, the main difference is that with the ah, I am going into it from here and shaping my soul space. And with a consonant, instead of shaping my soul, I am sculpting the space that I'm moving in with consonantal force.
There we go. Thank you.
Yeah. Is that it for tonight?
That is it for the questions. And yes.
Let me remind you then, next week is our 4th week of this series. And after that, I'll begin another 4-week series to study, to offer exercises for people who are going to get the COVID vaccine. And I consulted with one of our anthroposophical physicians and said, I know that out of the anthroposophical pharmacies, they're making a medicine called Tuja. And there's something, I believe that Rudolf Steiner even recommended that as a support for people who are going to get any kind of vaccine. And yeah, the physicians are recommending that you can get it with out of either True Botanica or Uriel Pharmacy, maybe Walida, I don't know. And I asked one of the physicians, is there a Eurythmy equivalent for it? And so he gave me some ideas, and I'd be happy to share them with you. A couple of them are from the immune support series that we've already done, and a couple of tweaks as well. So I'll be starting that 4-week series when we're done with the Restful Sleep series. And then in addition, let me thank you wholeheartedly for your support making this project come about. Truly, truly, I couldn't do it without you. And I'm ever so grateful to be in community with all of you. Thank you. I hope this serves. Thank you. And good night. And thank you, Michelle.
You're ever so welcome.
Good night, everybody.